Y'all want to see Lila? Come to mommy. Oh, that's a nice snuggle. Y'all ever love sniffing your pet's head? I do. She smells good. She smells like a warm puppy. Does anyone else have an absolute mental crisis over the fact that their dog's getting older? I ugly sobbed last night because in January, Lila is going to be 6 years old. But enough of that. Hi everyone, it's Isabella here and welcome back to the channel. So today's video, we are going to be talking about financial irresponsibility and influencers. This is a topic that I wanted to cover for the longest time and I finally had the opportunity to discuss it. I had one of y'all message me say, hey girl, I don't know if you know about the situation. You should definitely check it out. I was like, okay, cool. So we're going to be talking about Tara's World, who is a content creator on TikTok, and how there's a lot of financial irresponsibility with influencers. Now, I want to talk about this because I think this is a very interesting discussion in the world of influencing and just content creatorship in general. And one thing about me, I did not know how bad financial irresponsibility is in the influencer world and how there's a big old lack of financial education, and the amount of people that just like get money and just say fuck it is crazy. So we're going to be discussing an influencer who can't pay her mortgage. Yeah, that's not good. So before you hop into today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell button down below so you'll be notified of every single video I post. And now let's real quickly talk about the sponsor of today's video. I know we all have some prominent memories, and one of mine is watching my great grandpa play solitaire by himself on the table. I would always peek up and watch him because I thought it was so interesting, which then actually led me to have an interest on playing solitaire years down the road. But what I did unfortunately learn is laying in bed, playing with a deck of cards, it's not exactly the most convenient, nor is it convenient taking a deck of cards with you on the go. So I would love to introduce you to Tiki Solitaire Tri-Peaks, which is a game that you can take literally anywhere with you. It's a fun, fresh take on a game that we all know and love. There's over 4,000 levels, so you're never gonna get bored. Wild cards, hazards, and fun island vibes. Play with Tiki and friends as you conquer peaks, unlock boosters, and play challenges with your friends. That is a lot of fun. You could also send and receive coins, level up your club, and dive into seasonal events. I'm a big gamer app girly, and this is definitely a part of my collection. And one of my absolute favorite things about this game is there's always something new. This is perfect for killing some time, unwinding. If you like a game that's the best of both worlds, it's great for playing a game in bed or playing with friends. And as someone like myself who loves to have her alone time, this is perfect. So if you guys want to start playing, go to the link in the description below or scan the QR code on the screen to download the game for free today. Additionally, we also have a mini giveaway for you guys. They're giving away 30 $50 Amazon gift cards, so you can also enter in the link in the description below. We love a good giveaway over here, so thank you so much to the sponsor of today's video, and now I am going to go play. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm currently on a debt-free journey right now. Like, I am very close to becoming debt-free. I'm talking my car's gonna be paid off, my student loans are gonna be paid off. I really have locked in the past, I would say, year and a half, and have been able to wipe out a shit ton of it, thankfully. And I am hoping, if all goes well, that in 2026 I will officially be debt free. That is a very, very big deal for me. It's a hefty amount that I've paid down, and I am truly grateful. And of course, none of that could happen without you guys supporting me. So thank you again. And I promise the story is important. But I want to celebrate. I don't really spend a lot of money for myself. The last big purchase I made was my car, but I also needed to buy that because my other one shit out on me. So I literally had no choice. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to think about a new motivator for this year. I'm going to look for a purchase that I can make for myself that's nice, that's special to me, and a congratulatory purchase when I finally become debt-free, like something to look forward to. So I made this video about wanting to buy a Coach bag. Honestly, again, I don't really give a shit about name brands, but with the quality and everything, I do want a nice work bag and a shoulder bag. So I made a video about that, and I actually had an influx of messages and comments that made me kind of think about this topic. I had some people that were like, oh my gosh, I love seeing people who are like financially responsible, like this is great. And then I actually had a couple messages that were like, yeah, we can tell that you can't afford it. And I'm like, okay. Or like DMs like, oh wow, like why don't you buy it now? I mean, if you should just buy it now. Huh? So I'm like, because I want to be financially responsible, suddenly I can't afford it. But yet we see people online who flex it, and everyone all of a sudden assumes the best. Meanwhile, not everything is being shown to you through social media. For example, someone could be appearing to be incredibly rich on social media, but they're actually in the negatives because they're so financially responsible. Apparently like to uphold a lifestyle off of credit cards, overspending, living far beyond their means, and that's where Tara's World steps into play. So Tara is a content creator we actually highlighted before, and not for good reasons, and it really bothers me because like I hate when a creator keeps doing stupid shit, and this creator has been called out for being out of touch. She actually was the one, I'll have the video pop up over here, bitching and complaining essentially about how a brand was not taking her to Coachella for free and sponsoring her, which is fucking crazy to say. Why won't people do, you know, all the, just bitching and complaining. She decided to make a TikTok talking about how she made the most vulnerable post ever. So let's take a look.
I just filmed a video talking about a lot of things that I've never talked about online before, and it was a really hard video for me to film. And all I ask, if you are gonna watch it, it's live now, please don't clip it and post it on TikTok, Reddit. I will seriously take you to fucking court. Like, I'm not playing. I talked about something really vulnerable and something that I'm not proud of, and it's something that I wasn't even really ready to talk about yet, and I talked about it anyways, and I'm just asking you to please watch it and keep it to yourself. Here's a little random clip from the video of me wailing at the camera. That it just still like fucks me up all the time thinking about it, and I never thought that I was gonna talk about this online because I'm so ashamed and I'm so embarrassed. I feel like such a shit person. But yeah, I answered a bunch of questions in the video that I've never talked about online before. It's live now. You can find it on either of my OF accounts. I have a free account that you can subscribe to for free, and I also have the VIP account. It's available now on either of those pages. Enjoy.
So essentially she posted that up, and a lot of people were of course very, very curious, and they went over to click on the link. Now the video was put behind a $15 paywall, which, I mean, to each their own. I kind of find that crazy, but whatever. So she is talking about finances and mortgage. Now I want to put this out there, big old disclaimer before we react to some of this stuff and before we really get into the goods, okay? Talking about money and having money is not a problem. If someone is talking about financial transparency, opportunities they received, discussing that kind of stuff in a tasteful way, I don't think it's a problem, right? It's okay to also have a story or a reason, a motivation that's positive behind talking about certain things that are maybe negative in the content creator space. I think pay transparency is really important. And I also don't think it's bad to talk about, hey, this happened to me and moral of the story, blank. I think it's good to have stories and connect it to your job. However, it is a problem when we're just doing this for clicks, in the sense of there's no lesson to be learned. There's no motivation behind it besides being agitatingly annoyed. Like, I'm sorry. So this is apparently about money problems. And as someone who has, I've been in the trenches before with that, let's react to some of these clips.
Home in a city before. I love LA. I love California, especially Southern California. I love everything about it here except for the cost of living, of course. But like, I don't think I'm ever gonna leave this.
So this is a clip apparently talking about the home that she bought in Los Angeles. Now, if y'all don't know, LA homes, mama, they're expensive, okay? In the hills, oh my God, expensive too. Now, if you are making a shit ton of money, that probably would be easy for you. If you are financially responsible, that's probably easy for you too. Apparently not for her.
State, this house, most perfect house in the world. Like, I was telling my mom yesterday, because I'm obsessed with like looking at houses on Zillow. I think a lot of people are. I just like love like setting the filter to 20 million plus and like looking at all these crazy houses. I could look at like a $75 million mansion and love my house even more. It is so perfect. I made it exactly what I wanted because I renovated the whole house. It is so me. The yard is perfect. We live in a beautiful canyon with like hikes. Like, I wouldn't change a single thing about this house, the area that we live in. It's so perfect. So I want this to be my forever home, but I'm not gonna say with certainty because I'm always changing. I love it so much here though. Like, I'm just, my soul is so happy here. How much is your mortgage? This is what fucks me up. So my mortgage, like the minimum mortgage payment on my house, I'm gonna be so transparent right now because like, why not? When I bought this house, I was like making so much more money than I do now because my OF was just doing better. So I was making all this money. I got approved for a $6 million loan. I was like, oh wow. But I had already found this house, and this house was on the market for 3.
Okay, one thing I need to tell y'all, again, I don't know if everyone knows this, but just because you qualify for a loan doesn't mean you should take it, okay? This is one thing I learned from my parents. This is why I'm so grateful my parents were really, really on my ass about money. If you are qualified for a loan, but you don't really have the capacity to keep up with that, don't fucking do it. Don't ever do it. Don't do that kind of shit. It will ruin your life. It's not fun.
And I was like, oh, like I'm lowballing it right now. Like so I think I took out, I don't know, I put like $1 million down, and then I did renovation. So like my minimum mortgage payment right now is $25,000 a month, but $17,000 of that goes to interest. So like every time I'm paying this $25,000 mortgage, only like a couple grand is actually going towards the principal. And that like really fucks up. Oh, it's just,
oh my God. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. Okay, a couple things we need to discuss here. Wow, I'm sorry. When it comes to influencing, two things are true. You can make a shit ton of money from this industry, okay? The sky is truly the limit. I'm gonna be real with you, it is. But the second thing is while that also is true, you can blow it all and be stupid and ruin yourself. Bonus thing I forgot to mention, influencer income can fluctuate. That is exactly why if I've ever had somebody ask me like, oh, how long do I keep my job until I do content creatorship full time? I push for people to have a fat savings and hold their job for as long as possible. Like, don't just jump ship because it does fluctuate. I am incredibly grateful that as a content creator, I have multiple streams of income that are so strong that I am good and I'm very safe. I have a savings. I'm very, very cautious, and I also live significantly below my means. Some people don't do that, and the second that they see a big paycheck, they don't consider taxes, other fees, like if you hire an accountant. So all of a sudden, all these costs pop in, and then you're like, oh shit, my money's going down. And again, sometimes you do have a pop off where it's really, really good and you're making a shit ton of money, and then it kind of lowers a little bit. So this kind of income fluctuates, which is why when you have a high amount of money, you invest that shit, pay off your debt, and get yourself taken care of. So that way, if you drop, then you at least took care of your stuff. Hence, especially what I'm doing right now, investing and paying off my debt. Because then, if something were to adjust, I have got my ass taken care of, and at least I'm debt-free and have investments. That's smarter than blowing it on a couple $1 million home. But some people look at the fancy concept, the fancy idea of living in Los Angeles, and their brain gets way too big than their budget, and then they lose money. And that is just stupid to me. And one thing I want to say is, especially if you make a lot of money as an influencer, there is no excuse then to be having big loans unless it is a reasonable loan. So for example, if she was making that much money and was able to buy a $3 million home, by that concept, she should be able to wait and save up for it. If I knew I was pulling in millions of dollars a year, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna set this money aside and pay it in cash. That would make the most sense. Like originally, that was what I was gonna do for my car. My car just shit out on me, and I was like, okay, well, there's nothing I can do about that. The Walmart Hot Wheels kids vehicles weren't gonna cut it for me, but you are setting yourself up for failure. And the fact that 17 grand of that is going to interest is stupid. That is so stupid. And don't get me wrong, I wanna also make this clear. If you make dumb financial decisions, that's okay, shit happens. I am not gonna get on here on a high horse and say I've never made a dumb financial decision, okay? But what I will say is her behavior after this post is what makes me think that she just doesn't give a shit and is milking this for content and sympathy.
It's like throwing so much money into the wind every month. It actually fucks me up so bad. I used to I try to make bigger payments every month to take some off of the principal, but sometimes I can only pay 25. I don't know. It's a lot.
And I'm sorry, but if it's eating you, sell the home. Sell the home. I'm sorry, and I get it. It would be embarrassing to be like, dang guys, I overshot my shot there. But move to a different city. Be like, hey, actually living in a home isn't my vibe. Then just move to a different city and live in a high rise. I don't know. This doesn't make any sense to me.
It's a lot, and I could move. My parents always tell me, Tara, you could move out of LA, find somewhere like a cheaper house, and all of your problems would go away. I'm like, I can't live anywhere besides LA, and I can't live anywhere besides this house. I could live somewhere besides this house, but I don't want to. I want to push through this for this home. I love it so much. I am willing to be stressed out of my mind making mortgage payments every month because I love it here so much and I don't want to lose it.
So that was another thing is some commenters have been like, hey, you know what you should be doing is sell the house, get rid of it, do something else. And she's like, no. And then she goes, well, I can't live in anywhere but LA. I'm so confused on how selling it would somehow prevent you from living in LA. One other point that I want to make when it comes to the influencer industry that makes things incredibly frustrating is the fact that when I see people like this, it's a choice to be broke. And okay, the reason why I'm saying that is when these individuals are making so much money, so much unfathomable money, definitely more than needed to live off of as a single person, even living in Los Angeles, some of the richest, biggest cities in our country. And they go, oh, I can't afford this. I can't. They can, they just don't have a budget. And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. When she talks about how she can't afford this and this mortgage, she's financially irresponsible. And this is what is so problematic is the choice to be broke. It's a choice to keep that home and keep going. It's a choice to keep spending frivolously. It's a choice to keep putting yourself in bad situations over and over again when you don't need to. When you have that much disposable income to where you can practically piss away 17 grand and you still want to complain about it, I don't think anyone's going to have sympathy for you. And this is also why people get so frustrated by content like this, because you're willingly, not unwillingly, not because of medical debt, not because of suffering, nothing, willingly pissing away thousands and thousands of dollars a month. For what? To say that you live in a mansion? That's so out of touch. It's stupid. And it's just infuriating to see. In my opinion, it's completely a choice to stay broke like this. And I just cannot fathom being so irresponsible. 20 plus grand a month in a mortgage, 17 grand is going towards interest. You can live in a lovely apartment, but regardless, this is still financially stupid. So of course she got called out big time for this. And a lot of people are actually calling her like a scammer and weird for putting a video behind the paywall, which I don't necessarily think she's a scammer for that. I just think it's stupid. Like, what are you doing? Now, the conversation about this video caused a lot of discussion about financial literacy, influencers blowing money and being just dumb with it. But then also it kind of brought a lot of backlash to her as well. Like the comments were literally flooded, like pretty much flaming her ass for being dumb financially. And then with her other content that she posts, it's not exactly like she learned from it. This is the second thing that I want to talk about. It's the way that you talk about things, I believe, because the conversation of money and having it should not be a problem. Now, I want to show you an example of what I'm talking about, because this is the same person that will complain about how she's not able to take care of her mortgage, but then she's also the same person posting up this kind of content.
Here's a day in the life of an influencer living in Los Angeles who can't pay her mortgage. Weekend edition, it's Sunday. I woke up in my big gorgeous mansion with my gorgeous husband and my perfect animals, and I did all of my little morning things. I drank my hot coffee, I fed all the kids, then I got ready for the gym. I love weekends because Colin gets to come with me to the gym, and it's just so much fun. We're at Equinox. Everyone keeps telling me to cancel my gym membership. I'm like, no, I'm hot. Where else am I going to get this hot? I prioritize fitness. I ran for 30 minutes and then I did this little glute workout just with some resistance bands and dumbbells. Now we're picking up some breakfast. I'm really bad. I haven't grocery shopped in like 5 days. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm at Alfred's. I got a latte and I got a rip and dip everything bagel. And I'm finally at the fucking grocery store. I don't know what's been wrong with me the past few days. I've been Postmating, picking up food from restaurants. I don't normally do that. I love the grocery store.
This is where it really gets me the ick and bothers me, because now this feels like more of a content strategy to make money than actually showing what's happening with you. Because this could have gone one of two ways. Tara could have come on and been like, look, I fucked up, guys. I did not do well, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to get better. And talking about her ways that she's adjusting, the things that she's cutting, and how she's living now to get herself into a better financial position. That would have literally been so cool to see, in my opinion. We see NFL players, for example, who get like a check below that money. So we see creators who've blown the money. It happens, and you're like, dang, I don't know how the you blew through that. But hey, you're making changes we love to see, right? Growth is always encouraged. But instead, it's like, I can't pay my mortgage. Let me go out and spend more money and like laugh about this. This is where I'm getting the ick over this. And like, what is the point here? What are we gaining? Now it's just like, well, let me talk about it and get more people angry. Then more people watch my content and make more money. And I know technically I'm a part of the person viewing this stuff that is participating and engaging with her content, but that's what I think this is. I don't really think it's actually a goal of actually showing how she's doing better with this. But it also feels so weird because like, what was the point in sharing that kind of shit? That's my thing. And again, like I know generating a close connection with your followers is a big deal and it's really important and also very nice to do. But like, what was the goal with it? You know what I mean? Because like, it's nothing wrong saying, hey, I up and look at me doing better. Yay. This just feels odd because, oh yeah, I keep doing Postmates, DoorDash, and you can't pay your mortgage. That's embarrassing. But instead, we're trying to make this as just like, oh, well, it's funny, ha ha ha. And honestly, I wouldn't, now this hot take here though, I wouldn't be surprised if this is just all bullshit. If she actually can't afford it, but is just using this as some random interesting like topic so that way her content becomes a little bit more interesting and people engage with it more. Regardless, I think it's stupid. Now is not the time to be like, dang, can't afford my mortgage because I was dumb but I make like 350 grand a month. Meanwhile, some people can't afford their basic mortgages off of a full-time salary between two people who are a couple. That's just bonkers to me. So now let's look at another compilation of this content.
I never thought that I was going to talk about this online because I'm so ashamed and I'm so embarrassed. I feel like such a shit.
I spent thousands of dollars to spend the day at the Beverly Hills Hotel with my friends, and we're here. I've stayed here like 25 times and I always stay in a bungalow, but these days I got a cabana at the Beverly Hills Hotel pool. It was $2,500. Here it is. I'm staying in a cabin in the middle of the woods in New Mexico. Cabin tour. First, I'm gonna show you our awesome deck. It wraps all the way around the house. Come on.
We just got our biggest fish yet at the fish store. Let's get her in the tank. I just booked a suite at a really fancy hotel. Let's go have a solo staycation.
So I'm getting married next year, and today me and my fiance are touring.
I'm gonna get so much hate for this video because people can't mind their business and move on, but I have an online shopping haul. But I never online shop, so it's fine. I got a bunch of hoodies and sweaters for fall. First, because I'm a sheep, I got a park mock neck, and I will say it's perfect. Next, I got this pink rectangle zip up from Elwood, and it's perfect. Also from Elwood, I got this brown Sunday sweater. I got this from Elwood too. It's this fire truck sweater. Next, I got this zip up from Boys Live. Next, I went to danielleguzio.com and I got this Guzio hoodie. And I also got the micro mini skirt in white. Lastly, I've had the same everyday sneakers for like 2 years and they're like yellow now. So I wanted to get a new pair of like dad mowing the lawn sneakers because that's what I like. I got these because I finally wore my other ones out and I love them.
So I'm getting married next year, and today me and my fiance are touring some wedding venues for the first time. And I'm gonna show you all the venues we toured. We stopped at Alfred's to grab some breakfast on our way to the Santa Monica Mountains, my happy place. This is where I wanna get married in Malibu. First, we're at Calamigos Ranch at the Redwood Room. This is where the ceremony would be. This is where like the dinner and the dancing would be. I love the water that like runs down the windows. There's a fireplace. It's so beautiful. This is where the cocktail hour would be. And this is the groomsmen suite, and it's so cute. It's like a whole entire I don't know if anyone noticed, but for a little bit there, I was drinking heavily. I was being messy. I was lying and telling crazy, weird, chaotic stories on TikTok in an attempt to drive traffic to my OF page because I'm struggling with bills. So I got my manager and my financial advisors together and I was like, guys, I know how to direct traffic to my OF page and I'm unfortunately going to start doing that. So that's where all those videos came from.
Now, all this, if she actually has the money, is not the problem. I can't fathom knowing that you have financial problems, but yet getting onto this app going, dang, let me show how much money I spend thousands of dollars. And this is why I say don't always believe everything online. I mean, that's not to say that some content creators aren't like rich and have their shit together, okay? Because there's some people I know that have their shit locked in and good for them. But then there's some people who will blow money like this and technically be like, not be doing good financially. Also, I'm sorry, but like, this is not the time. Like now, right now, when people are losing their SNAP benefits, what the are we doing? Like, I don't think that's the time for that at all. Now, I want to put this out there for anyone who is in the content creator space or has money or maybe does not have a lot of financial education, literacy, etc. First of all, it's okay to not know shit. I have learned a lot by myself as being a content creator for many, almost a decade now at this point. Please ask for help. I have met people where they thought that the money coming in from like YouTube or TikTok or brand deals was not taxable income. Yeah, yes, that shit is taxable. So they were blowing their money, not realizing that they were also not pulling their taxes out because I have to pull my taxes out individually. You got to pull that out first and then whatever's left over is exactly how much you make there, depending on what you're doing. So some people are just blowing money. Some people are not realizing certain things are not tax write-offs and whatnot. This is really, really wrong. And I see this more and more in the industry. And I now understand why people like enjoy calling me broke because I don't just flex a bunch of shit or whatever. It's so bad in this industry. I got made fun of for owning a fucking Hyundai Elantra. I think this is impacting the influencer culture as well because people are expecting to see bigger and better. And I do also believe that that has a tie into why people think that they have to constantly elevate their lifestyle. Like, don't get me wrong. I have my dreams of the things that I want to do and live, but I also know reality. I know that it's not going to help me out financially. And I know I'm going to feel more comfortable doing something now and taking care of myself here. So that way I'm protected in the long run versus spending a bunch of money out. And I think it's creating this like, look, I need to show that I'm rich. I need to show that I have money. And that's ridiculous. Your focus should not be constantly elevating your lifestyle. You should be living below your means. And if so, I don't give a shit if you're rich as hell. Live below it. Even if you're making like $1 million a year, live below that, bitch. You don't need to spend it all. Like, make sure you're locked in. And honestly, if you are that irresponsible with a mortgage, I am incredibly concerned by her and her investments. A lot of people that are online can be well off, but also a lot of them could be completely financially irresponsible and blowing money that they don't have or exhausting money that they could truly be enjoying on stuff that's incredible incredibly stupid. This is how influencers go broke, by being stupid. Like this is it. By not asking for help, by blowing money, by not taking care of their taxes. I also want to continue to talk about the rich look pressure in influencer culture and how I think it has definitely created a really toxic situation for many people who think they have to upkeep it to entertain an audience. I do think influencer culture rewards status signals like a mansion aesthetic or constant upgrades, and that pressure can push creators toward like over leveraging and then normalizing it to viewers as content, going out of their way to like spend so much money, even down to some of Tara's content, constantly vocalizing the number. Almost like the same thing to me as when people look at like the massive skincare walls and overconsumption. It's like another goal. It's aspirational, it's entertaining, people engage with it, but it also turns into an expectation for content creators, which then pushes, I'm not saying you should fall for it, but pushes content creators to then go, I need to uphold this look, otherwise I don't look successful. If I don't look successful, the audience doesn't think I'm successful, so therefore I'm nothing. Instead of having enough security in themselves to realize that it doesn't matter. You know what your finances are, and that's all that matters. And if I'm someone that gets shamed for simply being financially responsible, I can only imagine what somebody who is on a larger platform experiences if they were to, for example, move out of their big mansion because they can't afford it anymore. So I understand how that could be a bit very anxiety filling, but regardless, doesn't mean that we uphold an unrealistic situation all for content. But additionally, another problem that I have with this Tara situation is the performative victimhood loop. I really want to keep talking about this more with my content, but the internet hates me jokes have got to stop. It's so exhausting, and doubling down on this, and to me, lacking accountability just drives engagement yet dodges the actual responsibility, which then continues the same cycle over and over again. And in my personal opinion, I think we have seen this happen with Tara multiple times before this. And then last but not least, I do think that this also impacts audiences. Like, for example, it's still participating in the toxic cycle. Like, you're not participating in money conversations in a good way, you're participating in a toxic way. You're normalizing an unsustainable lifestyle as if this should just be okay. You also impact trust when it comes to creators and money, which I think is very problematic. I also think you're feeding this concept of social media where personal crisis becomes your product. That should just not be interesting to anyone. And when people are struggling with cost of living and you're not talking about your richness and your success in a good way, I just think that this is so privileged and out of touch, and I cannot get behind it. I would rather be called broke for not wanting to spend $600 on a bag right now. Meanwhile, I'm going to be completely debt free and my investments are going to be looking good. Like, I would, please call me broke. That is totally fine, because that's none of my business. Somebody else's opinion about your finances is none of your concern, especially if you're getting your shit taken care of. But it's definitely not a flex or not cool and not funny to be bragging about the fact that you are blowing $350,000 a month practically on stupid shit and being irresponsible. And I believe that, again, if you were to handle this with, hey, I learned a lesson, I'm going to do better, that's different. But now this just seems like a cash grab. This seems like just trying to pull relevancy out of your ass. And one thing I have to say is, if the way to become relevant is to be absolutely embarrassing and ridiculous, what are you doing? I think that's incredibly poor as a content creator and pretty poor when it comes to your finances. So also, I just thought of something that I thought was really important to mention. When it comes to content creatorship, I do also want to put this out there because I think some people don't know this. After a certain point, it's just like any other business. You have to invest to get more out of it. And so some of her purchases like make sense in the long run, because it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like spending a certain amount in rent actually might be beneficial for her. Location wise, okay, LA makes sense, right? Maybe certain products that she buys for a video makes sense. Certain purchases in content creatorship are a little bit different because it can help your content creatorship world. Yet again, that also doesn't necessarily mean that she's being financially responsible at the same time. And I know regardless, like, she's still going to have to make certain, I would say, business purchases sometimes. But ultimately, if you are struggling that bad, you need to make some big changes, because if you are struggling to invest in your work even, or you have majority of your, I still can't get over $17,000 in interest, you have gone off the deep end. That is $204,000 a year just in interest alone, just blowing ass. If I ever get this dumb, I've told my best friend, if I ever get this stupid, you better jump me. You better take my phone, lock me in the basement, and feed me bread and water so I can think about my problems. I'll never be that way. But like, the sun just hit my building and it's not going away, so I'm gonna finish the video. Not everyone is being very honest with themselves in their financial situations. I just don't feel like this is someone that is offering any value to somebody by the way that they act. in the way that they are treating certain situations like this. It just feels very out of touch and icky, and hell no. I would rather live below my means and have random strangers on the internet call me broke than ever live like that and outwardly be perceived as rich and actually be incredibly stupid with my money. That's not something I'm gonna do. So that was it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Oh my gosh, happy Halloween, you guys. Stay safe, have fun. Please be safe. Please be safe. Oh my God, please be safe, have fun. You know, share your location with your best friend or something. Make sure you're good. It's me again. Don't forget to enter in the giveaway, and also check out our sponsor in the link in the description below and pin comments. And I will see you guys in the next video. Love you. Bye.